Hi everyone, it's Jay from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today for the Global Stampin Video Hop with the theme of paper flowers. Today I'm sharing a card using the Petal Park Bundle with the stamp set and the punch, and mixing that with Biggest Wish stamp set using the Bold Thanks sentiment. The inks I'll be using are Memento, Night of Navy, Flirty Flamingo, and Soft Sea Foam. And we're also only going to be using basic white card base, so basic white thick 21 by 14, or that is 8¼ by 5½, and basic white normal cardstock, which is 7 millimeters less than the card front, or that is 1/4 inch less than the card front. And you just need an offcut of basic white, and we'll use that as our template. So let's get started. So for the template, you just need a straight edge. Open up your punch and line that up all the way inside and then towards the top, and then just punch through. And we'll use that as our template to stamp and we'll use that as our template to add our stamp onto the block. So you just need to align it in the area that you punched, and I'm gonna use the edge of the block and the cardstock and align that so I know how far along I can stamp this onto the layer. So now we'll stamp onto the layer 1 using Night of Navy ink. So just ink that up and align the right edge and the top edge, or slightly over towards the right hand side. And then turn it over and then do the same. So this will form our background. And before we punch that through, I'm just gonna color by stamping the filler design. So for the leaves, I'm using Soft Sea Foam. Just ink that up and stamp. Do the same on the other side. And then Flirty Flamingo for the filler flowers. And this one I'm actually gonna use 2nd generation stamping. So you'll need scrap piece of paper, ink your filler design, stamp off, and then align that and stamp. Turn it over and then do the same. Ink it up, stamp off, and stamp on. There we go. And now we can punch that through. So you know that it can go in, but if you just realign it, just in case you weren't right on the edge, but the flowers and the leaves should align okay. Do the same for the other side. So now we have this layer 1. We can stamp even more designs onto there. So I'm gonna use the filler design for the flourish, and I'm just gonna stamp that in Soft Sea Foam. Again, just place that underneath a scrap piece of paper to protect your work surface. So I'm just gonna ink this up and stamp it on. Turn it over and then do the same. You can change up the placing of your flourishes if you prefer, but I'm just gonna keep it fairly the same. There we go. And whilst we're stamping, we can stamp our sentiment in Memento. I've got another scrap piece of basic white. Just ink that up and stamp. Now you can trim that using paper snips or your trimmer. I have gone ahead and trimmed mine using the trimmer quite close to the border, and that we have that one. So now we're just gonna make up our card. I'm gonna add dimensionals on the back. Check out the description below for the product links as well as the next video link in the hop. So we're just gonna shape our flowers using the take your pick tool in your palm. So just press it along the center and we will have our flowers. I'm only gonna use 5 just to have that odd number, and we're just gonna either reinsert or place this on the top. You could also shape your leaves just using the side of your paper snips if you want to. Okay, so we're gonna add these on and we'll just rearrange it using Tombow. Add glue to the back and reinsert that. I'm just changing up the layout so you have the outline of the cut through. And also I'm gonna add the leaves in between or just as a different look. There you go. And for this one, I'm just gonna add that on to the inside of that leaf. And this one as well to the inside of the big flower. So you have the outline of the large flower from the punch shape. And finally the sentiment, we're just gonna add on top. We can cover some of the areas that's been punched out. Again, we're just gonna use dimensionals. So this time, because we have some areas there, you can double dimensional or just use mini dimensionals, which I will use on these areas and probably up on top there. Take that off and then just stick this down. We can add the other leaf just on there. And finally decorate it and embellish with basic pearl basic jewels. So I'm just gonna add these again in the center of the aperture flowers, the middle there. Maybe use a bigger one. And finally a large one. A large one on the large flower. That's my card for the Global Stampin Video Hop with the theme of paper flowers. I did do another version using second generation shaded spruce, so let me know which one do you prefer in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, bye!